Welcome to the On Your Side podcast. I'm Gary Harper.
And I'm Susan Campbell. Inflation is at a 40-year high. From gas to groceries, we're spending a lot more on the basics.
And now, holiday shopping season is right around the corner, and families are scrambling to stretch their budgets.
Today, money-saving mom Andrea Woroch is joining us as we talk about everything from setting a realistic budget to monthly bill hacks to help cut costs.
This is On Your Side with Susan Campbell and Gary Harper, an Arizona's Family Originals podcast.
Okay, welcome to the On Your Side podcast. I'm Gary Harper, and I'm joined by Susan Campbell.
How are you doing today?
The illustrious Susan Campbell.
I know. I like that introduction. How are you doing today?
I'm doing okay. Had a great weekend, and looking forward to another heavy week.
Lots of stuff going on.
A lot of heavy lifting.
Did you have to go grocery shopping anytime recently?
I do. Yeah, over the weekend I did. Yesterday, as a matter of fact. I don't like doing it.
I did too, and there was some camaraderie in the dairy aisle. There was a group of 3 people hanging out, and all of us were complaining about the price of eggs.
Yeah, it's through the roof. It's really hard to shop anymore, but it's almost like what isn't high anymore, right?
Yeah.
We're all becoming accustomed to it, unfortunately. Hey, we're in October, and we're getting towards the upcoming new year. Can't believe it already. It seems like we were just doing open enrollment like a couple of months ago, and it's been 12 full months.
Everything's flying by.
So I know we always want to do something different and better and to improve ourselves for the new year, including finances. How about you?
Well, we have to get to the holiday first. We
That's
have to budget for the upcoming Thanksgiving.
Right.
Christmas season, New Year's. We got a lot to think about before we even get to 2023.
That's true. Without going into debt.
Hopefully.
And that's what we're talking about today. We're joined by Andrea Woroch. She's our money-saving expert. How are you doing today, Andrea?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me on. I know you're talking about specifically groceries, how much those have gone up, and it's definitely shocking. I think people are really struggling. Families really having a hard time affording these higher prices, and it's stressing people out, especially as we're going into the holiday season. How are people going to afford gifts and holiday meals? And so I know that this is a really good topic to tackle today.
Yeah, let's talk a little bit about that with being able to afford gifts while at the same time being able to feed your family and put gas in the car to take the kids to school. You've got some budgeting ideas. Just let's talk a little bit about that. Anything kind of out of the hat that maybe people haven't really discussed or thought about before?
Yeah, well, I think the number one thing, and it's not something that people haven't thought about, people have thought about it, but I don't know how many people have actually done it, is really sitting down and writing out a budget, not just your monthly budget, but then a budget for specifically the holiday season. When you spend time writing everything out, it gives you a chance to, think about what you're spending money on and how important it is, or maybe even find things that you're spending money on that you didn't even realize you're paying for, maybe a subscription service your kids signed up for. Happened to me. We threw away $60 in the trash most recently by paying for Amazon Music Unlimited because my kids signed up for it through my phone. So, it really just comes down to combing through your recurring expenses, combing through your budget, and, writing it all out to figure out, how much are you spending on each thing? Where can you cut back? And where can you make some room for the upcoming holidays so you don't feel stressed out, and so that you do know what you can afford and what you can't. And so you can plan ahead and set expectations with your family and friends when it comes to giving gifts, or maybe instead of hosting the big family meal all yourself, maybe you ask family and friends to contribute this year instead and kind of divvy up the tasks and expenses. And, that really is where it all starts.
That was so nice of your child to add that extra monthly expense for you.
The first time you thought I would have learned and set those parental controls earlier, because it did happen the year before, but we finally sat in our apps and made those controls set.
But a good reminder that can happen, or even if it's not your kid doing something on your phone, maybe it's something you signed up for that you completely forgot about. So always a good reminder to go back through and just check the accounts, check the preferences.
Or maybe it's something you signed up for that you really don't need. Yes, you enjoy it, but do you really need it? There are free options out there. For instance, let's say if you love Audible, those are for audio books, right? You can actually get free content from your local library without stepping foot into a library if you don't want to or it's not nearby. They have digital platforms these days. Most use Hoopla. You can stream movies, TV shows, get ebooks, audiobooks, video games. So essentially, you could really get rid of a lot of those entertainment costs. Get those for free. And now you have a little extra money in your budget for maybe higher prices at the grocery store or buying a gift.
When you say write things down, let's revisit that again. What do you write down? Every single thing? I mean, obviously the obvious ones, mortgage or rent, car payment, car insurance, but then how detailed do you get after that?
Yeah, you want to get pretty detailed, but you can kind of lump some purchases and expenses into a specific category. So maybe entertainment can be all your video subscription services, cable or internet, as well as if you go out to the movies or buy a concert ticket. And obviously some of these things fluctuate from month to month. So clothing could be up one month, down the other. You might want to take an average spend over the course of a year or a few months to just give you a ballpark figure that you follow. And then the key to not just setting the budget is actually tracking what you're spending and checking in on those purchases. So it's looking at your credit card and bank statements on a weekly basis, or, using an app on your phone like Mint or Pocket Card. These types of budgeting apps allow you to see all your spending across multiple accounts in one place. I think that's where people kind of fall off track, because they maybe have 3 credit cards and then use a debit card, and you never really get a sense of how much you're spending because it's spread across a few accounts. But when you actually see it in black and white, or on your phone and your app, that can help you make better purchase decisions and kind of give you that eye-opening realization that you're overspending in certain areas.
How do those apps work? You've kind of piqued my interest. So do they collect the transactions automatically through the card you're using, and then they categorize it?
Exactly. So you will have to go in and link your financial accounts. It's similar to, let's say you're linking your bank account to a bill that you want to pay and transfer funds between. So it works in that similar way. And then the app brings all that information into one place. They'll categorize it. So at any point, you can check in to see how much you spent on a specific category. You can link your partner's accounts in one place, hold each other accountable. It will also help you set a budget, and it will also alert you. And I'm talking about Mint specifically, but many of these other budgeting apps have similar features. They can alert you when you are getting close to going over your set budgeting limit for a specific category. So maybe through text or email.
MINT, Mint?
Mint, yeah, Mint is one. Pocket Card is another. There's also You Need a Budget, YNAB. So these are some really great apps to check out.
Do people start thinking about budgeting around this time of year, and then do they realize, oh, I'm way over my head? I mean, maybe they're not keeping up with their credit card balance, but it seems like when you get into October, November, and particularly December, the red sirens are going off.
Yes, I believe so, especially because people know, okay, I have a lot of expenses coming up. I need to get a little more savvy here. And so it definitely is an important time to take control. But I would say that the new year is probably the number one time where people feel overwhelmed, because now they're dealing with this debt that they took on during the holidays and trying to get a fresh start. So if you can get ahead of that and really do it now, that's going to put you in a better position come January, so you can tackle 2023, with a really good start and really make a lot of improvements and manage these higher prices that we will see going into the new year.
We talked a little bit about some of the subscriptions, the entertainment, streaming sorts of things that can really add up in a monthly budget. You have some other monthly bill hacks, though, that can help us kind of cut back and not really feel the stress so much, or not notice, I guess, the changes so much. What are some of those good things that we should all be considering?
Yes, and I love that idea of trying to save money without sacrificing, because we all work hard. We work hard for our money and we should enjoy our lifestyle. But there are things that you can do without feeling the impact and still enjoy the lifestyle that you have been enjoying. So there are a couple of bills to look at. Number one is your insurance bills, homeowner and auto insurance specifically. This is something that a lot of people don't realize that you should be shopping around for every few years. Perhaps you got the best price policy when you first bought your home or car, but those prices will slowly go up over time, or there could just be a better promotion out there and you can switch at any time. So you want to run comparison searches. There's actually a site called the Zebra, which makes it really easy to compare with small providers as well as the big ones. Then another idea is to bundle insurance policies. You usually get about a 10 to 15% discount, and increasing your deductible. So if you chose that smallest deductible, you're going to have a higher monthly premium, but bumping it up every few every bit from 250 to 500 or up to 1500 or 2500, depending on how much you have in savings to cover that, can reduce your monthly payment by up to 20%. A couple other little things. Unplug unused gadgets around your house, the computer, TV, coffee pot, even your mobile chargers. Those continue using energy even in the off mode, and you can shave your electricity bill by 10% every month by doing that small little task, or use a power strip if you don't want to actually have to unplug everything. And then this one's a big one. This is a big area of savings for families. Look at your mobile data plan. A lot of us take advantage of those unlimited data plans because we perceive that as the best value, or maybe you got a discount off your smartphone if you signed up for the unlimited data plan, but not realizing you're actually paying more than what you would have paid for that cell phone if you just paid a lower plan. So what you want to actually do is look at your usage. Can you actually switch to a lower tiered plan that costs less and still not go over based on how much data you use? I mean, a lot of us work from home, so we have our free Wi-Fi, or even your office has Wi-Fi anyway, right? So you can hook up and not use data. And then I also have noticed that there's been a lot of these online only wireless carriers coming out. They're using the mobile towers that Verizon and AT&T and T-Mobile use, so you're getting quality service, but paying a fraction of what those big wireless carriers charge. Mint Mobile is a great example. You can get a plan for as little as $15 a month. This includes talk, text, and data. Or if you really do need that unlimited plan, then they're just charging $30 compared to Verizon, which is charging $90. Huge savings there. And again, not sacrificing. So all these ideas are helping you really continue that level of lifestyle you're enjoying, but on a lower cost.
Yeah, people seem to get stuck, though, with the brand. And I'll give you an example. The auto insurance that you brought up earlier. Somebody might say, well, I've been with my insurance company for, 18 years and, I probably won't find anything else. And by the way, I'm guilty of that before I switched. And I'm glad I did. But people just have this, they think that they're loyal and they won't get that good price. And I always tell people, look around, but they just have this in the back of their head that I've already been with them for, 20 years. They don't want to do it.
Yeah, I think people just grow accustomed to and comfortable in their budget and with the brands or services that they've been using. But the reality is you can always go back, but just doing a quick search, they'll show you how much you're going to spend. And actually, about a year ago, I noticed that my mortgage payment was going up and I just assumed it was the taxes. It wasn't a huge jump, but then I did a little bit of digging and I noticed it was my homeowner's insurance that was the primary reason for it going up. So I ran a comparison. I actually got better coverage, cost less, and I increased my deductible. I shaved $1,200 off my annual premium. For a lot of people, that's real money. I mean, that can go far, whether towards the holiday season, maybe save that for that summer vacation you want to take with your family, but aren't sure how you're going to come up with it. So the point is, test it out. There's so many great options out there. And also just calling your providers and negotiating. This could be with your cable or internet, with your insurance companies, even with your credit card. If you've had the same credit card for a long time, maybe you're carrying a small balance right now, even though you have it in the past, but because everything's costing more, just can't pay it off fully. If your interest is high, just ask if they can lower that interest rate. You'd be surprised that a lot of people have had success with this. I've had success in the past. If you pay on time, have had the credit card for a while, they may be able to reduce that interest rate.
You know, you can really save money if you want and if you put your head to it, right? But if you have a significant other or if you're married, this is a two-party plan here. You both have to be on board, because if one person is and the other person is not, that's a problem.
That definitely is a big area that can affect your household budget. And so getting on the same page is something that everybody should focus on. It's not going to happen overnight if you are noticing that there are big differences in the way you spend or save or view money. But I think sitting down and writing out that budget, and then also thinking ahead to the future, short, long term, what are you both wanting in the future? Then it makes your budget more meaningful. And there's more purpose to why you're not spending on the things that you don't need in your life. And I think that can help get you towards that same financial path.
There are ways to make it through this, the last couple months of the year without digging into debt. And my husband and I just had this conversation too. We want to do all of these fun things and make sure that we can have that magical Christmas morning for our children and all the great food for Thanksgiving and everything. But also we really had to figure out, like, okay, something has to give too. Right?
Yeah, it's give and take.
We both have good jobs. We feel comfortable and happy in our home, but the increasing costs of everything really is a pressure that all of us have to battle right now.
Absorb and accept and come up with solutions.
Yeah, and we did. We made some changes. We cut one of the streaming services that we weren't using as much. We cut back on a tier of another one, and we both agreed that it sounds so cliche, but we agreed that coffee out isn't going to happen right now.
Yeah.
So we both cut the daily coffee out, and it seems...
You were one of those $5 a cup coffee people?
Not every day. No, not every day, but I did. There's a Starbucks right across the street from our office, Gary. You know that.
I know, and I see you going over there. At least at one time I did,
but
a lot.
You haven't seen me doing that this month, right?
That's true. That's true.
Because that was a conversation that we had, and it felt like for us, though it was cliche, because I don't think you can get yourself out of a financial mess by just cutting out a coffee, right?
Right.
But it did feel, like an easy way to make a small difference.
There is a Starbucks machine in our cafe. You realize this, right?
I use it.
Okay, good. All right, so that's free Starbucks.
Free Starbucks.
There you go. Hey, Andrea, personal question. Are you married?
Yes, I'm married. Yes. And I'm married to somebody who was not a big saver when we met.
Okay.
So I get that.
That's my question. So if he wants to buy a nice pair of shoes, does he come to Andrea and say, "Hey, can I buy these shoes?" And
what we decided was, because we both work, it was easy. And even if you're not somebody who works, but what we decided was that based on our budget, we give each other like our own amount of free money, we call it, every month. And that is for each of us to spend how we please without judgment for the other person. So there's no reporting back.
Yeah.
But for big purchases, usually around like the 150 to 200 mark or anything over, we want to feel like we respect the other partner, respect each other, and discuss it, bring it up, and ultimately try to help make a decision together whether it's necessary or not. But usually his nice shoes only cost $30, so it's not that big of a deal.
This guy sounds like me. I hate spending more than $50 on a pair of shoes. Now, Todd, our audio engineer, on the other hand, how many pairs of shoes do you have, Todd?
He's flashing a lot of hands.
A lot of fingers.
If you could see him right now.
It's upwards of 100, I believe. So
hey, you need good shoes to get through the day. But, and we were talking earlier just about some other ways to cut back without really sacrificing. A big one for clothing, maybe for the holidays too. You want your holiday party outfits and stuff like that. We've gotten really thrifty. I do everything secondhand now for my kids, for ourselves. I mean, why buy something brand new if there's something that looks just like it, or maybe even the same item for 70 to 80% less? There's so many great resale sites online to make that accessible. So I really recommend that for families.
You're right about that. But I mean, even some of these Goodwill and some of these places, they have really gone up on their prices. I mean, they're asking for, say, like a polo knit type shirt. They want $12. You can go to Kohl's and spend $10 and it's brand new. It hasn't been worn by somebody. I think a lot of these secondhand stores have gotten out of control. They're all building brand new buildings. I mean, they don't even use they move into somewhere. I'm on a rant now, right?
You are.
I am. Susan's laughing at me.
I noticed that sometimes there are some items that you might be able to go to, say, like you said, a Kohl's or a Walmart or a Target, your basic staples. Actually, they are cheaper than if you were to buy them secondhand, a brand name, that are valued for more. But there are other items that I found that have been a better buy, and maybe not just clothing, but like we like to ski. I buy used ski gear, used ski outerwear. I bought my daughter a North Face jacket for $20, brand new. It's over $100, and I find that those are really quality and they last, so I can pass it down to my younger daughter. So there are some things, as long as you do your price comparison, are savvy, and spending time to research, you can find good savings.
So, funny story about second-hand stores. About a year and a half ago, I wanted to get rid of our leather couch that we had for a while. I called up a secondhand store, and they came out to pick it up, and they left it right where I had put it out for them. And I called. I'm like, what happened? Well, it wasn't in as good a shape as we thought, and we wanted to put it on our showroom floor.
Oh,
I'm like,
they didn't want it.
A showroom floor? You're a secondhand store. What is going on here?
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So,
I have a totally different story. I was trying to get rid of some outdoor furniture when I was moving here to Phoenix, and I just didn't want to pay to move it because it wasn't nice enough to pay to put on a moving truck. And we dropped it off. My dad was helping me. We dropped it off, and as we were trying to hand it to the place to donate it, somebody swooped in, and they're like, "Don't donate it. Can I just have it?" And they got in a fight over, over it.
Wow.
Really?
It's hilarious. Yeah.
Hey, that's a great idea that as far as like selling stuff, that's a good way to declutter your house, but at the same time, just make a little dinner money. My wife has done that with a bunch of stuff in her craft room. I mean, $5 here, $10 here, and she's gotten rid of a lot of stuff. That's something people should probably do, is go through their house and look at stuff they don't use anymore.
Yeah, I think there was a study done a few years ago that said people are sitting on like $1,000 worth of unused items around their home, whether it's your clothing, a handbag, even gift cards. Gift cards, look in your drawer, your wallet. How much money do you have on gift cards, whether it's partially used or just to a store you really don't shop at? You can go online. There are sites like Raise, Gift Card Castle, a bunch of these resale gift card sites. You won't get the full value, up to about maybe 92%. But for a lot of people, that cash can go a lot further than having it on a gift card you really don't need. So yes, I definitely recommend spending the time. I actually just sold an outdoor table. So you're talking about patio furniture. Kept that price maybe a little higher than it was, I thought, maybe necessarily worth, to make room for negotiating. But I made $100 selling the whole set. So, I'm saving that towards some of the holiday gifts we're planning to buy.
Hey, getting back to the gift cards real quick. I bought a $100 gift card for my son for his birthday. And do you know what they're doing now? They are now, it was a $100 gift card, which has, I think it was a $5 activation fee, which that brings it down to $95. And then every transaction was $1. So,
oh wow! Was this a credit card branded?
Yes,
like
it
cash
was.
card? Okay.
Yes.
So those are, when you stick to a retail specific card, they don't have those types of charges. So I would definitely recommend not getting that, but it's a little late now, I guess.
$1 a transaction, though?
That's crazy. That doesn't seem right.
If you do 20 transactions, let's just say you go to Starbucks and you get your $5 coffee. Well, it's $5 plus another $1. You do that 20 times and you're out $20. Your 95 is now down to 75. So I don't think a lot of people realize that. So I was telling my kid, make big purchases, like
spend the $100.
Spend the whole $100. Yeah. So, all right. Hey, listen, Andrea, thanks so much for joining us on the On Your Side podcast. And any last tip that we didn't talk about, or anything you want to get across to save money?
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I have so many. So maybe I could join you for another round. But I would just say to really pay attention to what you're spending money on. Stick with the store brands, whether you're the grocery store or even clothing, shoes. I mean, you can save a lot of money, 30 to 50%. Look for gently used. Like I said, even those electronics, certified refurbished, these come with a warranty, can save you 60%. Great for gifts as well for the holidays. You can really stretch your budget. Look for those coupon codes. Maximize cash back. We're all spending a lot of money. Make sure you have a good cashback credit card and use those cashback apps.
Absolutely. All right. Hey, listen, thank you so much. And I think we're going to start saving more money now. I hope, right?
I hope so.
Yeah. All right. Hey, listen,
it's a
Andrea.
full-time job, it feels like sometimes.
I know.
But I like the ideas of not having to sacrifice a lot. So I think a couple conversations here and there, we can make it happen.
Yeah, and without getting into an argument with your, significant other, right?
Yeah, and just try to do one or two things. Don't overwhelm yourself with trying to redo your entire budget, your entire lifestyle. It's harder to stick to. Make one change at a time every month. Maybe try to tackle a different category, and you'll have longer term success.
Like no Starbucks coffee.
Love that.
Yeah,
I
there you
have
go.
it.
All right, listen, have a great day, and thanks for joining us on the On Your Side podcast, Andrea.
Thanks so much for having me.
The On Your Side podcast is produced by Brad Denny. Our audio engineer and editor is Todd Martin. Segment producer is Colin Stanton, and I'm Gary Harper.
And I'm Susan Campbell. If you have a problem you can't resolve, maybe we can. Send us a message through azfamily.com or our AZ Family mobile app. Look for the On Your Side section and leave us a message. Thanks so much for listening to the On Your Side podcast. And if you like it, leave us a review. We'll see you next week.
On Your Side is on Good Morning Arizona every weekday morning at 6:45 and 7 o'clock, and every weekday evening on Good Evening Arizona at 4 and 5 o'clock. You can also catch it on Arizona's Family News at 9 on 3TV every weeknight.